What's going on, coach and creator? So in this video, I'm going to show you how I scaled an Instagram coach who only posted one piece of content, and that was able to allow him to cash collect more than $96,000. Okay, you probably clicked on this video because you hate creating content, and I get you. Most coaches and creators hate creating content. Whether if you're at 100 followers or 100K followers, everybody hates creating content. Unless you are really good at it and can do it like really quickly on the fly, most people hate creating content. And working with 10 plus creators, I found that this was a universal problem. And what I've noticed is, a lot of these creators, they want to like outsource the content creation, right? They want to outsource editing, they want to outsource ideation, scripting, but at the end they can't, because the only person that can create content is themselves, is you, right? You do all the heavy work. You're the one pressing record and talking to yourself in front of a camera like a crazy person for some 2 hours sometimes just to create a 90-second video, right? It feels stupid, it looks stupid, but that's how the money is made for info product business owners like yourself. And I realized that this was a problem that I needed to solve this problem with my client, with my creator here, because he also hated to create content, and he noticed that he didn't want to post any content unless it was like super high quality. So what we did was we created one piece of content, and that generated all of our results, all of our revenue. If you watch this entire video, you can copy and paste my strategy here and implement it on your own. So where you are at right now in your process is that with your content creation is you're probably endlessly creating educational content, right? You're trying to post as much as you can, but it's super frustrating and you're not really getting any results. Okay, I've been there, I've done that. Every creator goes through that phase. Every coach goes through that phase. But let me tell you, the ugly truth is that all the clients you want, you already have. They probably are already in your DMs and they have already engaged with content before. Okay, now before I go any further, there is a caveat to this system. The system pretty much requires you to already have an existing audience. They must already know kind of what you're doing. You need to have some decent numbers in your reel and your views, in your engagement, and in your followers. So I'll be super ultra transparent in this video. I actually show my receipts, unlike most growth operators or info operators, growth partners, whatever we want to call us nowadays. But I'll show all my receipts and give you like the perfect frame of reference. So for example, this creator had 100K followers and he was getting some pretty decent views of his reels when he was posting. But he wouldn't post that much, but he would still be getting pretty decent views. Okay, so you have the audience, and you're just done posting content. But all you need to do is just harvest your followers. Now, what I mean by harvest, I really mean by monetizing them. Okay, and I call this the harvest revenue method. What I really mean by harvest revenue method is basically creating a piece of content that gives you the maximal ROI for your hours and for your time, effort, and your brand. So create one piece of content to generate you thousands of dollars every single month. In this video, I'll show you exactly how I scaled this Instagram coach from $0 to 96K cash collected in less than 90 days, only posting one piece of content and without using any paid ads. Now you might be thinking, okay, like what is this piece of content that was able to cash collect $96,000? Well, to generate $96,000. Well, this piece of content was called lead magnets. I'm a huge fan of lead magnets. Most people don't use them enough. The people who do use them overuse them, but I am a big fan of lead magnets, and it's the #1 way I've been able to book calls for my clients pretty much all throughout the past couple of months. Okay, so the one piece of content that we made was this professionally edited reel right here. So this one real lead magnet where we told viewers to comment scale to get free training for this creator's offer, right? And then we also converted this reel into a story sequence, okay? Now, from this one reel, we were able to create this story sequence, but we essentially just needed to create one piece of content. And in the story sequence lead magnet, same thing. We just told the viewers to DM me scale in order to receive the free training. Okay, now as you can see here, this one reel alone generated over 1,700 leads. 1,700 leads. Just one video, just one 60-second video. Now, I'll give you the full sauce. Okay, this is the actual video that we used. I'm not doing scenarios. This is real legit, real life systems and strategies that I put in place in order to cash collect this much money for an info product business owner. So this one reel got 1,700 leads, and then we also used the story sequence. I don't have the story sequence because it expired. I was an idiot and didn't screenshot it, but we about collected over 3,000 leads. Okay, so 3,000 leads were generated, were collected from 100K followers. So do that for your own following. That's about the ratio which is to be expected. Probably you can do better numbers, but that's how many leads that we got. Okay, so next thing that we need to do that we did was harvest these followers, harvest these leads. And the number one way that we were able to do that was with setters and dialers. So there were two channels to this operation, inbound as well as outbound. As I said earlier, all the viewer had to do was just DM or comment scale to get access to the free training. So what this did was that once they commented scale or DM scale, they will get in a ManyChat automation, or then they're going to be sent a link where they can sign up to get the trust asset. The lead magnet, trust asset, free training all mean the same thing, and that free training was this 10K Instagram blueprint. But in order to get the blueprint, they needed to put in their information. And once they put in their information, they're going to be redirected to the typical VSL funnel where they can, apply for one-on-one coaching and book a call from there. But we didn't want to leave that up to chance. So what we did was once we collected the leads info, we had the Instagram setters try to book a call with them in the Instagram DMs. We had dialers cold calling these leads to book a call, and if these two failed, then the email marketing sequences on the back end will get them to book a call. The most important thing about lead magnets is not to book calls, even though that's what we want to do, right? The most important part is one, collecting the leads information, okay? And number two, it's gauging how many warm leads you have in your audience, right? And for this creator, for Parker, about 3,000 out of his 100K followers, which is a pretty good number, right? You might have 10,000 followers and have 300 warm leads. But the point is, you need a good gauge of where you are with your audience. Right, now on the outbound side of things. So as I said earlier, the Instagram setters were following up with all of the people who commented or DM scale for Parker. Okay, so all of these 1,700 people, all of them were followed up consistently and until they told us to fuck off or we were able to book a call with them. Okay, so about 3,000 DMs, 3,000 people were contacted from our Instagram setters. Then what we did, which was a little unconventional because of the nature of the offer, was essentially Parker's offer is that he helps sports theme pages make more money online. That's pretty much what his offer is in a nutshell. Teaching them how to get more followers, teaching them how to make more money with brand deals. Okay, so we also had our Instagram setters cold DM every single sports theme page, just like the Yanks center here. All right, and these were surprisingly easy to close. But the main bottleneck of this was we were only allowed to cold DM about 40 to 50 prospects a day. And these people were already pre-qualified because they're already in Parker's, the creator's niche, and they already are making some type of money. If they have 50,000 followers and have some engagement, they already have a little disposable income to spend on a coaching offer. And I think this is the number one thing that a lot of coaches aren't using, especially more B2B offers, which is what Parker's offer is. I mean, essentially, these pages are essentially businesses, and he teaches these businesses how to make more money, right? And if you have a B2B offer, for example, I'm just trying to think of a good one, like faceless Instagram pages, okay? His niche was sports, and we just stuck with sports because that's what he knew how to do. I also have another creator who is a faceless Instagram theme page builder, and he helps just random people online to do the same thing. But there's a certain niche where these make money online faceless pages where, for example, he could go out and DM all of those people and they're really easy to find once you know like what to look for. Like for example, all you have to do for Parker, all we had to do was like just type in Yankee or baseball, and we could there's like thousands of these pages. So at the end of the day, the most important thing was able to create a good creative for the lead magnet, basically making a really good real post, just one post that we could reuse over and over again, as well as just recycling this reel and turning it into a story sequence. Then once we make a really good post in the reel, our setters and dialers have to be locked in. Okay, that was another very important part of this whole operation, just using one piece of content, is because if your setters aren't setting, if your dialers aren't calling, then this whole system will not work. For this to work, your setters, especially your setters, have to follow up religiously. I'm talking as many people as they can, humanly possible, in a day. They must be able to just keep nurturing them on Instagram DMs, and your dialers must be, trying to dial 60 plus times a day, and then having a decently long email sequence, roughly about 2 weeks long, in order to maximize the amount of book calls that you want to get. So with only using one post and a really good sales team and system, we are able to sign on more than 30 plus high ticket coaching clients, as well as generate more than 3,000 leads and thousands in low ticket product sales, book 50 calls a month, and be able to cash collect $96,000. And as I said earlier in the video, here are the receipts. We were booking about $6,000 a day at some points. I mean, it was absolutely insane. If you're a coach or creator and you have more than 10,000 followers and you don't want to keep posting content every single day and you want to scale past 50K a month, let's book a call. Let me learn your situation, and I'll implement the same exact strategy that I used for Parker in order to get him $96,000 cash collected. And again, this system only works if you already have a pre-established audience. But at the end of the day, all you need is one piece of content, ideally a lead magnet, a story sequence using, from that one piece of content, as well as a dialed in sales team and a dialed in sales system.